So listen, so the story is, I wanted to get a car so bad. I thought about it for months and months. Like, no, man, I don't know. I don't want to spend that much money in a car. So finally, I find this Maserati.
Oh, wow.
Black with red interior. I love red. Red is my favorite color.
Me too.
Oh, man. So, you know what? So that guy, he asked for what he wanted, And then, so I go there and the car is good and everything's, and then he says, oh, you know what? I don't know if I want to let it go for that price. I'm like, what do you mean? What that's what you want, But then maybe he seen that I was so interested in, and then he said, well, I think I'm gonna have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time I see he raised the price like $10,000 more.
Facebook Market again?
Yeah. And then I'm like, no, this guy's crazy. So then I didn't buy it. But it never happened to me before. People sell it and then, you got the money and let's do it,
Yeah.
But then this guy.
Was that this year or last year?
This year, yeah.
Well, that's it, man. All the cars have gone up, bro.
Oh, really?
Wow. You don't think you paid more than normal for the Sprinter?
No.
Really?
I got a really good price, actually. The Sprinter is like, it's top of the line. That's what that girl says. And I search, and I really don't know a lot about the Sprinters, but it's beautiful, man. And I was looking at it, they're super high.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they've been trying to sell it for a while, I think. And these, actually, I got it from some older ladies. And they really don't want to talk to people because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't really want to waste their time. So even for me to talk to me, I'm like, don't you want to sell? They gave me a hard time, but I was patient. I was patient enough, And finally, it took me like about 3-4 days just to communicate with them, little by little. And finally, we became kind of friends, and it was easy now. But it's just hard right now with the pandemic. I think a lot of things, people don't want to talk to people or spend their time. And then she's like, are you sure you want to buy it? I'm like, well, yeah, that's why I'm calling you. But they want to make sure that it's a kind of like
a for sure thing.
Official, but you can't.
Yeah, because it's the internet, man. Everybody shows
But you can't
interest.
do official. You got to see and see how it drives and how it feels before you make a big decision like that.
For sure. So tell me, how's your experience been here at the Fight Stars TV mansion, man?
Well, first of all, I want to thank God, for the opportunity of me being here and allowing me to spend time with my kids, man. Especially now, I call my kid now, Jose Valenzuela also. Pretty much I adopted him and he's been living with us, and it's a blessing, man. Me waking up and having another day of success and hard work and a lot of challenges also. To me, challenges are very special because that's what makes you think and keep grounded, I think. And sometimes, the challenges for me are the ones that motivate me to keep going. Secondly, I want to thank Patrick, for an amazing house, man. He gave us the opportunity to come. We never had a camp like this. This is a beautiful house. We have everything we need here. We have a boxing gym. We have a place where we have all the weights and all that. We don't have to go anywhere. We have a pool also. We do a lot of pool work. So, we're blessed. And I want to thank Patrick for this opportunity to allow us to be here.
So I had asked some of your fighters what was their differences in being in their normal camp and in here, and they all expressed that eliminating that drive from going to the gym or going to get sparring and having to drive back, that's like a 2-hour process, one way, another hour the other way, or 40 minutes one way, the other, another hour the other way. Do you appreciate that a little more, that they get to wake up, go right to the gym, then they can leave from the gym, shower, and they're already resting?
Well, everything that you said, I have to do. So I have to run. I got to cook for them. I got to make sure I run in the morning and take them to run. That takes like 45 minutes or 30 minutes sometimes, and come back, sometimes an hour. But we have everything here. It makes everything so easy because we can get warm up here. They run around here, and by the time they're almost done, I can time it a little bit and then come back and cook and get the food ready, because I like them to get that food warm, And after that, they go to sleep. I wake them up. They just walk into the gym, and the same thing, the same process. And then at night, we do strength condition. So it's like a blessing, like I say, you know. I mean, hopefully in the future, once we start getting these big fights, I would definitely love to have something like this, you know, where you have everything here in focus and ready to go to work. It saves a lot of time, and they're super happy. They get a lot of rest, and for sure, I do the same also.
Well, you got to promise to come back for the next camp. I want to be in every camp now.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's a blessing having you guys here too.
Appreciate you, man. So yesterday was an amazing opportunity, and I want to thank you now for allowing me to watch all that sparring. Is that normal? Do you usually have that? Because I felt like it was 3-4 different trainers with 3-4 different groups of fighters. That gym was packed last night. Well, yesterday.
Well, you know, I think I'm a little bit different, man. Like I said, you know, I always think that somebody's working harder than you. So, like you said, you know, I had to bring these people because Rayo, Monday, he went 13 rounds. Wednesday, he won like another 13. I think Friday, yesterday, he won like 12 rounds. And that's what we do, man. You know, we get fresh people in order for them to go to the next level and push themselves when they're tired or they get injured. Thank God they haven't got injured. They do get tired, but they know once Rayo's going to be fighting 8 rounds, 10 rounds, we're ready for 12. Diego's going to be fighting 8 rounds, so he's ready for 12 for sure. You know, no doubt he's not going to get tired. So, like I said, I do things a little bit different than other people. A lot of people say that I overwork my fighters. There's no such a thing, man, in my mind, that you overwork. As long as you're sleeping good, you're eating right, you're also the supplements and all those vitamins, you take your vitamins and all that. I mean, there's no way you could overwork. Now, if you're not going to sleep early and you're not dedicated and making those sacrifices of the discipline, yeah, you are going to injure yourself and you're going to overwork if you don't do the things correctly.
So yesterday was my first time seeing Rayo spar. I mean, obviously I've seen him fight, but you know, sometimes people don't spar the way they fight. That was a fight. You told me that you don't like your guys being hit, but they were, you know, Joet Gonzalez and Rayo were going at it, and I think that might have been his brother, the taller, skinnier one in all black. He was, you know, they were punching, and Rayo himself, he was throwing that right hook, it looked like with all his might.
Yeah, Joel's brother, I heard that he's 11 and 10 knockouts.
Really?
Undefeated fighter.
As a pro?
As a pro.
Is it Josue? Is it Josue or Jose?
I don't remember. But Rayo only has 10 fights also. We're there, you know, almost with the same. I might think that they have more experience than the amateurs. Rayo only had like about 30 amateur fights. So to me, you know, when I see them, these guys, Joel fought two times for a world champ. He fought Stevenson.
For vacant, and I believe
and then Navarrete,
yeah.
2 of the monsters in that division. So he did really good against them. These guys are very talented. They have so much talent. And me seeing Rayo spar with them, and then going 4 rounds with one, and then put the other one fresh in there, and then he still did good, you know. Like I said, you know, I'm just trying to take him to the next level and get those best spars that I can. And, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to spar this guy because in the future I might be fighting him or whatever. I don't focus on that, man, you know. I just do what I do, and if we fight, we fight. I don't focus. That fight will never happen, maybe. Why would I even focus on that? It might happen, and if it happens, you know, win the best. So that's we'll spar anybody, and we'll fight anybody.
Whose decision was it to put Joet second? What did you get options, or did that trainer just say no? He's going first.
No, you know, the thing is, I always try to get the heavier guys in there. Whenever I see, you know, there's like a 140, 145. I went up and sparred Rayo at as much as 160 sometimes, you know. So if I have another guy that's a little bit smaller, I always try to start with the bigger guys. And then I just go down. So that's the reason I chose his brother. He was a little bit taller, a little bit heavier. And that was the decision that's why I made that decision. But I knew Joet has a lot of experience, but he's a little bit smaller.
Yeah,
that's why
he's 130.
130. So I thought, you know, nothing to take away from these guys, because these guys are monsters. These guys are very talented, but we have to take a risk. And
it was interesting, man. I would have been happy to see Joet and Rayo both fresh, because Joet was fresh. Rayo had already done 4 rounds. And when Joet got in there, he took his time. You could see his experience was there, so he took his time. Rayo was already hot, coming off the momentum of the last 4 rounds. He was doing well, too, because he was fresh. And then after the second round with Joet, that's when Joet turned it up a little bit more, really focusing on Rayo's body. And then Rayo started to work on his defense. So I would just like to see, even him, I asked him, I said, hey, have you ever sparred Joet? Did you know that was him? He said he knew it was him. He never sparred him. But even he said, I would like to get in there with him when we're both fresh. So it was man, it was a really good sparring, good opportunity. I mean, Rayo showed true mettle. I've been to a lot of camps. 12 rounds, that's good, man. And this is only the second week of camp.
Yeah, no, but we've been sparring, man. You know, we take every opportunity of the sparring, because sometimes you have sparring, sometimes you don't. So you might as well take advantage of it now that's here. I did talk to his father, and I congratulate him of the hard work that he has put into his kids, and it shows. You know, they've been doing.
So the trainer was the father?
The father was the trainer. So I talked to him and thanked him, and I appreciate what he's done, you know, with his sons, you know, because I learn from everybody. And I told him, I think next time we should do this, because they're good, man. We should do it, like you said, you know, just one guy, you know, maybe go 10, 12 rounds. And he said that he wanted that, like maybe if we could go like 10 rounds next time. And I said, yeah, just, you know, tell me that you're going to come and we'll make it happen. Because that would be, I mean, that's the best sparring that I could get at this point right now.
No, that was amazing sparring, man. It was, again, a pleasant surprise to see Joet there. I wish I would have been able to get an interview, but I think I was interviewing David, and then I seen them walking up the hill. I'm like, oh, it's over. But to see him in there with Shakur, see him in there with Navarrete, I think he even beat Mariaga, right?
Yeah.
So, telling you, Rayo looks impressive.
And I follow these kids, man. You know, like I said, you know, I especially when he was gonna fight Shakur, you know, I was like, man, that's a good fight. So I know who they are, and I knew what we were getting into. But you know, at the end of the day, like I when they wake up, I know what they do. When they go to sleep, I know what they did in the whole day. So that gives me a lot of confidence. And I knew we were gonna do good against them, you know, because these guys are super good, you know. And it's just the hard work that we put in. You know, I'm not afraid to spar anybody at like up to 140.
So I know we spoke a little bit about your age and your accomplishments, but I wanted to do it again on camera because, you know, father-son relationships in boxing are kind of like the essence of the sport. You know, you had Jack Mosley and Shane Mosley, Ken Porter, Sean Porter, you and your 2 sons, and you know, that dream lives on in other people. There's fathers right now taking their sons to amateur tournaments, driving across the country. So I just wanted to again revisit that conversation on camera so that people watching this know that you're only 46 years old and you've already had 2 world champions, 1 2-time world champion. And I just wanted you to touch on that. I know you talk about the hard work and sacrifice, but if you can just tell anything to those aspiring dads out there that hope to accomplish what you and your sons have done, any words of motivation, because I think it's amazing at your age to have already had 2 champions, and now I can see firsthand that Rayo will get to a title challenger at least, if not a champion, because of what I've seen in that gym. So, you know, you're blessed, and I'm sure they're looking for the secret.
There's no secret to success, man. I think, you know, hard work, dedication, sacrifices, you know, that's it. You know, I didn't know nothing about boxing. Everything that you just mentioned, what they're doing with the kids right now, taking them to tournaments, I did all that. I didn't even know where I was going. To be honest, I didn't even know I was going to go take my sons to be professionals, you know. And I always thought, you know, I'm going to train them until I find somebody that's better than me. I'm gonna let them go, because at the end of the day, if that's what they want to do, is their career. I'm just here to guide them and help them, and I'm gonna go as far as I can. But I just fell in love with boxing, and I became obsessed to learn. And I spent nights and days watching videos and even learning how to get mitts, how to stand, I would do angles myself, you know, to see and understand the mechanism and how to deliver those punches, how to sit on your punches, when to use your distance. To me, the jab is the most important weapon in boxing. And so I had to learn that. It's just a dedication, man. Like I said, there's no secret to all this. It's super hard. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. I had to get away from everybody that I knew, my friends, and actually my family. Actually, I had to get away just to stay focused and stay focused on my family and my kids. And thank God it was worth it.
So wait, you said you had to get away from your family. So you mean your enemy to family, like your mother, father, brother, sisters?
My brother, and friends that were very close to me. You know, sometimes, you know, you come from work or on weekends, you know, you have these people that you want to spend time with, like have barbecues and all that. I had to get away from all that. And yeah, people started talking and saying that in Mexico, de comandilon, you know, your wife, you know, you're afraid of her. And I would say, yes, I am, you know. I mean, I'm happy. This makes me happy. So it's a great feeling. And like I said, I never thought they were going to be professionals. But I think hard work, dedication showed, and they just kept winning and getting bigger contracts and getting bigger fights. So my best advice to anybody is just stay focused. And, you know, you might see that you're not getting there, and the goal is super far, but it's doable. It doesn't matter how you are, you know, how old you are. I think once you stay focused, you know, you're going to get closer and closer to your dreams.
So being a man that had a few sons and obviously put them through the amateur ranks and turned them pro, what advice do you give to aspiring trainers as far as not pushing too much, right? Because it's still the child's decision, right? And a lot of fathers, they get into it because they love the sport and they want to, push off their aspirations onto their children to live out their dream.
You know, I have to disagree with that, you know, kind of like when you say, and I hear it a lot, don't push your kids, you know, don't let them do what they want to do. In reality, when we're young, we don't want to do nothing. You know, and you have to push them. You have to really, really push them, and even get mad and yell at them, because that's what I did. You know, I think I was going overboard a little bit, and they were starting to hate the sport. But that's when I decided to adjust things with myself, and I started thinking, hey, these guys are not little kids anymore. So there's a time when you need to make those adjustments, and if you don't make them, they're gonna end up hating you or leaving the sport. So you really have to pay attention to that. But my job was to push them as much as I can, and I still do. It's less, and now they understand, because I told them, listen, look where you are now. It's because of your hard work, dedication, and all that, because of the love of the sport you have. Once you lose that love, things they just don't work out no more. You know, you have to stay passionate about it. You got to stay hungry, and you just, like I said, discipline is the most important thing here. You know, but I think you have to push them. You have to put anybody. It doesn't have to be your son or whatever. You just have to push them, and we all want to party now. And especially when you start getting a little bit of money, you want to travel, you want to buy different things. Now you're losing focus, and I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make. Once you become a little bit famous, people start getting in, and the distractions are starting to get there, and that's when you lose focus, I think. But and that's when you got to yell at your boxers or fighters and let them know, man, you know, you got here because of discipline. Now we got to stay focused, and we got to stay grounded.
Well, keeping that same topic in mind, I would like to hear your version of the story. I spoke to David yesterday. We had an hour-long interview, and I really got to know him. And he told me that when Jose got his contract, you left for 2 years, and that's how he got bigger. So how was that for you? A, why did you leave him? If he was this phenom, why didn't you bring him with you? And B, how was it for you being away from him and being told, David's not going to the gym, David's getting big, David's 270 pounds now?
Yeah, you know, a lot of people don't understand, you know, sometimes you gotta make choices in your life. At that time, when I left them, I didn't have no money. I went to Hollywood, California at the wild card. So I was Freddie's assistant for 2 years. So I had to do anything, you know, like personal training. And I just remember this time, you know, that I was trying to get ahead a little bit. He was about to get signed, but they took forever to sign him. So I ran out of money. So I remember when they said, okay, we're gonna sign him. So that's when I decided to bring David to the camp with us. And I thought, oh yeah, he's gonna sign, so we're set, we're good, and they still didn't sign him. So I remember that last day, I was so upset and so frustrated, and I was thinking about coming back to Arizona. That same day, they were hungry. I only had $1, man. So back then at McDonald's, you could get 2 hamburgers for $1. So I took them to McDonald's. I got them 2 hamburgers, and they told me, you know, and it gets to my heart a lot, you know, because they told me, hey, aren't you gonna eat? And I was so...
Your son's telling you this?
Yeah. No, I told him, no, you know, I'm not hungry. Guys go ahead and eat. I'm not gonna tell them, shit, I mean, I don't have money. So I bought 2 hamburgers, you know, and I gave one to David, I gave one to Junior. And that was the last day when I decided, you know, I'm coming back. These guys will take forever. I don't think they want to sign them or whatever. And so they said, so you're not going to eat? And I said, no, it's okay. I'm okay. But I was starving, man. And to me, that's the thing, you know. So I got home, I started packing, you know, and I was super sad and depressed. And I was brokenhearted because now I'm going back to Arizona with nothing, you know. And these guys said, you know, that they wanted to sign them. And you know, when I was about to start, I was halfway packing. I get a call from Top Rank and they say, okay, Jose, we decided we're gonna sign. We're gonna send you a wire transfer for the signing bonus and this and that. So that right there changed our life, you know. So from there on, you know, then I brought David. David was big and we started training. But that's the reason I left them, because I couldn't afford to have 2 mouths there, you know, and feed two kids, you know. So that was the plan, but the plan didn't work out. So now, once we signed, we got a place and everything worked out good.
So originally, when you first left to California, you were under the assumption that they were going to sign José Benavidez Jr. in how much time?
In like a week or 2.
So 1 week turned into 2 years?
No, it took like about six months or so, maybe a little bit more than that. But David was back and forth. Actually, I was before trying to sign him, so that's why I left him there, because we were here and there, and actually we're sparring. We went to the Diaz brothers for a couple of months and all that. So all that time before, actually, yeah, like about 2 years that took talking and all that, wanting to sign or not, or yeah. And then once they said they wanted to sign him, it was like about 6 months, the last 6 months. And that's when I brought David, because I thought, you know, because actually they didn't sign him because Junior was underage. He was only 17, something like that. So they couldn't sign him. You have to be 18. So we waited and waited and waited for almost 2 years.
So how'd you get in there with Freddie? Like, how'd you become his assistant? Did you just show up? Did you have someone put in a good word for you? How'd you end up at the Wild Card Gym, of all places, becoming the assistant of a world-renowned trainer like Freddie Roach?
Man, everything, you know, it's so funny in life, you know. Things happen like miracles, you know. I want to thank, by the way, Patrick Sansuki, the owner of Central Boxing in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where we were training at. So when Junior won the National Golden Gloves, the youngest to win the National Golden Gloves in history, Floyd was the first one. Then Junior broke his record. The owner has a lot of businesses, and you know, he was super happy, and he says, hey, I got you set up to go to Freddie Roach and spend 2 weeks with him. It's already paid. I'm gonna get you a hotel. I'm gonna get you everything, you know. And I was like, whoa, you know, man, thank you so much. That was like something out of this world. So we get to the wild card, and I told him, hey, you know, we're here because of Patrick Sansuki. He says to talk to you, everything's set up. And the guy that set everything up didn't pay Freddie or whatever. So Freddie's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, I don't know, no Patrick Sansuki or you know, whatever. So we're like, oh, shoot. So I call him and I say, well, he doesn't know, and plus he's busy right now. And he's like, you know, don't worry about it. Just stay there, enjoy, and we'll come back again or whatever. So we're there, we don't want to bother nobody. And then I took over and I said, hey, you guys have any sparring, because we're next to before they used to have a Vagabond or something hotel next to the wild card. Now they broke them down, they did a new building or whatever. So we go there and they say, okay, they already knew kind of like, oh, he's a national champion, but nothing special, whatever. Mm-hmm. So they say, okay, so we got this kid, he's an amateur. And we're like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. We just wanted to, we went there with a lot of respect and we wanted to spar. So they put a guy there and Junior looked really good against him. So they're like, oh, let's put somebody else. So that's when they put a professional in there. And Junior looked like spectacular. And everybody's like, who the hell is this kid? Now all the attention came. That same day, I had like 5 offers. At that time, that was when Manny was hot and he was training there. So a lot of people came over and just to see. And in between that crowd, the word came out. So I just get calls, say, hey, listen, these are the people, this and this, they manage people, so they want to sit down and talk to you. So I had like 5 offers the same day. I was like, whoa,
Amazing.
So even Freddie Roach said, I really like your son, and I want to work with him. So I was like, whoa, so many things in one day, I couldn't believe it. I didn't think nothing of Junior, because he's my son, everybody says he's good, but I said, no, we're getting there little by little, he needs more experience and we'll get up there little by little. But obviously everybody's seeing what I didn't see. Like I said, I thought we needed more, never enough for me. And that's how everything started. And I stayed there and I was Freddie's assistant for 2 years.
Wow. How was your time there, man?
I was like a sponge, man, watching Freddie, one of the best trainers in the world. Still to this date, and at that time also, it was unbelievable. I was just watching every step he did, every smile he did, I was just watching everything that he did because, I want to be like him. And he was my idol, but I thank him for that, for showing me a lot. And then I had the opportunity to go with Robert Garcia also after that. And I learned a lot from Robert Garcia. Then after that, I went to the Diaz brothers to Coachella. I learned a lot from them. I stayed there like another year with Robert. I stayed on and off for 2 years also. And then I went over here for like another year. So with the Diaz brothers, they let me stay in their little ranch. And all because they seen that talent of Junior that I didn't really see. Like I said, I just thought he needed more. So after that,
they brought you out there to spar with Bradley?
We sparred Bradley. They paid us to start sparring Timothy Bradley, and they were in love. So they put us a house, and they, hey, you guys can stay here. So all because of Junior, they seen that talent, and now I get it. Oh, okay, because they really like him. So they're good people too. Mm-hmm. So after that, we finished, and then I went to Big Bear, and I met Abel Sanchez, and I was like, wow, Big Bear. This is where.
That's when you went with David to spar.
No, actually Junior before also. Oh. Junior was out there. I had some camps over there, and I was like, whoa, Abel Sanchez, wow. De La Hoya used to train. I could only see it on TV, so it was amazing, man. And I learned a lot from Abel Sanchez too, another great trainer. And everybody's different. They have their different things, and I was just there to learn, and thank God I have a good relationship with all of them. And I think I graduated once I trained with all these guys, and since then, then I started taking David there, and he started sparring Triple G, and from there on, that's how they became world champions.
So this is off topic, but it's kind of on topic. How many relationships did you go through to get here? And I mean romantic relationships, because I feel like the road to success, you lose so many people along the way because of your drive. Like, I can only imagine telling my wife, I gotta go spend 2 years in California, another 2 years in Riverside or Oxnard, another year in Big Bear. I could just imagine that was rough on a relationship.
Like my marriage?
Your marriage, your girlfriend, whoever was with you at the time.
Yeah, that was a problem with Junior's mom and David's mom. out. I don't know if you guys ever seen the Price of Glory movie, you know? You just, from work, I'd call them, hey, get ready, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And if they weren't ready, I'll be yelling, what's up, hey, we're gonna be late. You guys gotta be here, you know, this and that. So that was my life. And I forgot about the mom. And I thought she's gonna be happy because I'm spending a lot of time with them. And our trips we had no vacations. Our vacation was the tournaments. And we were excited because we're gonna go to the tournaments. And then I would spend all the money, right? I would be so happy going up there, but then they win. But then I was super sad because I didn't have the money to pay the rent. So then I would figure out how to pay the rent. And I did a lot of things like that. And I think what happened in my relation, I kind of forgot about the mom. And I wasn't effective that much. I was just boxing all the time. And she would always fight with me. Oh, no, make them do something else because they're going to get hurt. Because she would hear it a lot from a lot of people. And they thought it was more of me, that I want to live through them. And, you know, and I hear all those things, and she wasn't really cooperating and being supportive because it was just too much boxing. And she wanted to protect them, and I said, no, we're gonna go run. I would wake them up at 5, 6 in the morning and make them run and go.
At what age were they?
Man, they were like, David was like 4 years old, 5 years old. I would make them run. You know?
At 4 and 5?
David was 6 years old. And
David told me he started boxing at 2.
At 2 years old, yeah. I started training him at 2. And I was really hard on him, you know, to be honest.
But what are you showing them at 2 years? They still got the pacifier in the mouth.
I was crazy, man. I don't know, man. You know, and I admit it, you know. That's why I tell you, you know, in life, sometimes you got to make adjustments or otherwise, you know. And I thought it was more of me, you know, but, you know, but let me tell you a story about that, though. You know, in my mind, I grew up without parents. My parents separated when I was 2, 3 years old. So I went through anything that you can imagine, you know, abuse, molestation, and all those things. So in my mind, I thought, I'm going to take care of my kids, man. I'm going to protect them, and I'm going to be there for whenever, all the time, as much as I can, you know. So what happened in my mind, I thought, I'm going to die. After we split with his mom and all that, who's going to protect them? I was more obsessed of trying to protect them, you know, especially my little girl too. So I was there, so I'm like, I'm gonna make them strong. I'm gonna make them tough, so nobody would take advantage of them. And I was so afraid of that, and I think that's what triggered everything. I gotta make them strong. Okay, we're gonna go run. I don't know why or what, but you're gonna get stronger, you know. And you guys nobody's gonna take advantage of you.
Yeah.
And that was the reason, actually, that's why we're here where we are, and that's why they're animals. You know, I remember one time I was running David to a mountain. The mountain will go here like this, right? So in his mind, he was like about 4 or 5 years. His mind says,
go straight.
Go straight. It's faster and less work.
Yeah.
But there were so many cactuses in there. So he fell, and when he got up, I remember, and I told him, see, that's what you do when you try to cheat, you know? And you know, we came down, and I'm talking to Dave Jr., and I'm like, where's David? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Didn't you see him coming down? No. So then I thought, oh, this guy, you know, and then we seen him through the cactuses, you know, all walking and I seen him with all these, oh my God, it was so painful.
Thorn marks.
And then see, that's what happens, you know, and even me, I got really mad, you know, instead of, you know, trying to, are you okay or whatever, you know, I'm like, see, that's what happened when you try to cheat in life, you know, you pay, you know, for what you did, you know, and you should never done that, you know, you should go where I tell you to go, you know. So then, you know, they think, you know, that when you talk to Junior or David, they're going to tell you the story that I would just drop them by the freeway and leave. And I would tell them, get home, and you guys got to get early there so you guys could go to school. And it was true, some of it, but I would always check back on them from far away, where they see that they got to adjust and they got to survive on themselves. But I always keep a really close eye on them. But they think, if you ask them now, no, I just dropped them and they were there, you know, and they didn't know what to do. So they just go home, you know. But every time, like I said, you know, I always, I was super hard, and I did a lot of things that I kind of not regret, because at the end of the
Because
day,
it worked at the end of the day.
It worked, man. So I think
There's a method to your madness.
exactly. I would not recommend this to any other parent, but I mean, you do whatever you think you do, as long as you spend time with your kids and make all those sacrifices. I think what worked for me might not work for you. So at the end of the day, and that's what happens when teams break out, because they don't understand that these guys are adults now. You can't treat them as kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what's keeping us more tight now, because we had to make those adjustments. To me, they're my kids. They're my little kids, and I think I'm more smart than them.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's not like that, I think.
So are you content now? I mean, to have gotten here, or is it not over for you? Do you still have more goals to accomplish? Because you did receive Trainer of the Year in 2019, right?
No, I was selected by Canelo's trainer, Eddie Reynoso, Robert Diaz, I believe, Abel Sanchez, maybe, I don't even remember. But I was like, whoa, being nominated, but I'm never gonna win, I mean, these guys are like my idols,
Yeah.
But it was, and I didn't win it. I think Robert, I don't know who won. But to me,
I thought I seen you with the trainer's belt.
No, I got that. Yeah, I got that. Why did I get that?
Yeah, I thought it was
Because
2019.
David came the two-time world champion. No, but I didn't get the year one. So I got it because David was a two-time world champion, and plus the father or whatever. But that was another different thing. But I was super, wow, that was like a great thing that happened to me in life. But when I was nominated, I was like, I was already a winner, man. Just to be
in that class, yeah.
Mentioned. I don't even consider myself a trainer. I can never be what they have done, because I never boxed. I don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, we haven't done anything, man. In reality and honestly, to be honest with you, I don't care about the money. I don't care about the fame. I just want them to be good people, give back to the community, and what they have given me so far, I'm ready to go, man. I'm done for what they achieved by not knowing anything. So whatever comes is extra, but I feel that we haven't done anything yet. I mean, we're barely touching surface. There's a lot to be done, and I don't think we would ever, or I would ever be satisfied, because there's always more challenges and bigger things.
How did you feel hearing the news that PBC offered Canelo a one-fight deal with Jamal Charlo?
I didn't really pay attention to that, to be honest with you, man. I believe that the Canelo team and his team have worked so hard. They have dedicated their lives, and they deserve what they have, I don't focus on anybody else, how much money they make, what they do, or who they fight or whatever, I just focus on what I have and what we need to do, and stay focused, keep working hard. They deserve everything. The Charlos deserve everything they have. The Canelos deserve everything they have. They've been here before us. I didn't even think we were going to compare ourselves to fight them, and we're here. So they deserve every penny that they have got, and I congratulate them, and I'm happy for them. But I don't even know what would I opinion. I mean, if that happens, it happens. I would love to see that fight, but I try not to see what they're doing.
You think that the Charlo Canelo fight is like the time is now? Is the time more right for Canelo Charlo than it is for Benavidez Charlo? Because
I'll tell you what I think about that. When it involves David, there's a reason why Charlo doesn't want to fight David. I reach out to his trainer. I reach out to our promotion company to make that fight happen. I knew that fight was, it's a very dangerous fight for us. I don't know if we're ready. We might be, we might not be. We don't know until we fight. But we're willing to take that risk. And it's a big risk, and we're willing to do that. So I reach out to them. They didn't want to do it. The same thing with Canelo. We tried to reach out to them. When David was a champion, they were not interested, and we let it go. And when David lost the belt, he was interested to fight for the 168. And in a way, I feel super happy that these guys don't want to fight him, because they got respect for him. And they see that David's a dangerous fighter. And I don't think they're 100% that they're going to beat him. So that's why they don't want to fight him. If they thought that he's an easy fighter, they would take it right away. Easy money, right? So to me, it makes me happy that they don't want to fight him. And if it happens, it happens. If not, we'll continue to work hard. Al Heyman's taking care of David really good. I'm super happy with what he's doing. And he has to fight a little bit more fights in order to get that purse. No problem. We'll get more experience. Now, the fight with Canelo and Charlo, I think it's a good fight for Canelo because they turn into a business people now, and they know how to select, and they're in that position to fight whoever they want to fight. They don't really care about history. I mean, making history and being there. It's more about the money, and I think the people,
But
the
that's
Mexican
my thing.
people.
Is there more money in the African American? I know that Floyd likes to call it the green print, you know, an African American with a Mexican, but when you look at Canelo versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., that did 1.1, and that was Mexican versus Mexican. There was a time where people wanted Gilberto Ramirez to fight Canelo, which is Mexican versus Mexican. Obviously, with your son being of Mexican descent, isn't that the bigger fight, or is Charlo still the bigger fight because
I think
of the
the
green
bigger
print?
fight right now is David against Canelo because everybody wants to see that fight, and Canelo doesn't want to fight him. Now, Canelo wants to fight Charlo because he's a little guy. He never fought at 168. And Charlo wants to fight Canelo. It's a payday, you know. So, but I think, and then this, I like both fighters. I follow both fighters. I like their styles, and when they fight, I don't miss a fight. Canelo or Charlo. The Charlo brothers are very exciting fighters, really good fighters, very intelligent. But I think Canelo has the advantage because Canelo's been active. Canelo, it's stronger, and Charlo, they haven't been looking good. You know, they're going through some stuff, that focus and other things that people don't know. You know, like in my opinion, I see them drinking a little bit more and partying a little bit more. They're not as dedicated. Canelo's dedicated. You know, Canelo, it's a bigger guy. He's a little bit more dedicated. And then he has more advantages when it comes to negotiation. You're gonna have to come it this way. He has more things that he asks for, and he takes all the advantages. So I think it's a good fight for Canelo, not for the Charlo. And I think Canelo will take this fight. In my opinion, it's gonna be an interesting fight, and it's gonna be a really good fight. But when you put David against Canelo, a young guy that we don't even have a date yet, and we're getting ready, we're focused, and things happen for a reason. What David went through, it was a blessing because he matured, and now he knows. People are saying that, oh, he doesn't make weight. Only one time he didn't make weight. All these other times he's been making weight, but in their minds there, you know. So they try to talk about that, and he's focused, man. He's a dangerous fighter. He's more mad now, and he's super dedicated and making a lot of sacrifices. So that's what the Canelo team see, and that's why they want to go to the other route, you know.
Let's talk about that for a little bit. I did touch on it with David, and he told me, because obviously there's a stigma out there, like you said, that there's a lack of discipline, that he parties, and he made it clear, look, that was one time, I was young, and it's the money. I'm making good money since I was 20 years old, so I didn't know how to deal with that. But you as the father, you know, how did you deal with it? You know, looking at your son, you have to give him advice. Hey, don't spend all your money. Be careful. Women, everything.
Like I say, you know, in life you got to make adjustments. You know, they become adults, and you gotta let them make their own mistakes. You know, of course, you know, I was heartbroken when I heard the first time actually when he signed with Top Rank. I have left to Mexico with another fighter. When I came back, somebody got in his head and took him to but thank God I was able to talk to Bob, and we got him back. But when that happened, it was like,
but wait, how can someone take him and just sign him to Bob without you?
Well, let me tell you, and I'm not saying his name. I never say his name. His name is Alex Ariza. He did the same thing with
Ariza? Okay,
He did he did the same thing with Manny Pacquiao. He did the same thing with Amir Kahn. He did the same thing with Julio Cesar Chavez. So he begged me to give him a job, and he was my friend. And I told him, no, man, I'm not gonna give you a job because I know you're really good at what you do. You're the best, in my opinion. But you're gonna keep doing what you keep. Jose, please, I put it on my daughter's life. Just give me another chance because I need another. I'm dying, man. You know, nobody wants to give me a job, you know, and this is what I love. This is my passion. I promise you on my daughter's life, I will never do that to you. I trust him, man. And he goes and does it with Billy King. That's another that they work together. So, I mean, but I want to thank him actually because that thing got me to a bigger thing. You know, actually, like I said, things happen for a reason. It was a blessing. And I seen Billy King, and I talked to Billy King, by the way. If you watch the video, hey, how you doing, brother? Also, Alex Ariza, man. You know, things happen already. Thank God everything's going well. And, you know, if I see him, I would say hello to him. I have nothing on my heart or whatever. That was a bad thing to do. But like I said, thanks to that, everybody was more interested in David. So we got him back, and everything went well. And then the second time when he got caught with recreational substance or whatever, it broke my heart, man, because I was like, man, I been talking to you about this, and it's just so hard, man. It's even hard to explain, man. I was heartbroken too the second time, you know. But we worked together, we talked about it, and we got help, and we been working on it, and everything's been going well. And the last time, I mean, he got a little distracted and started eating a little bit too much, you know, and the same thing, a lot of money, man. A super young kid, you know, buying Lamborghinis, you know, buying all this stuff, and it got out of hand, and he was over 2 pounds, and he lost his belt, and that's why Canelo had all that space to do whatever he did, and he did it really good. But there you go, there was another thing there that, you know, he needed in order to mature. Now, if it happens again, you know, so he's been super dedicated in weight and everything. So he doesn't have a problem with 168. So in my mind, like I said, you know, thank God those things happened early in his career. Because if I wouldn't have caught that with the recreational substance, you know, it could have got bigger and bigger. And maybe later on, I couldn't stop it. So, he gets tested a lot now, so that's good, you know. The weight, we don't even have a date, and that's why we're here. So at the end of the day, I think that worked to our advantage, and thank God Al Heyman and PBC, Premier Boxing, is still backing him up, and we had the support 100%, and he has another chance, and he's been taking advantage of that chance, and everything's been well.
Is Samson still in the picture, or is he just like on paper still in the picture? Because, you know, it seems like it's more Al and Louis DeCuba's kind of in the driver's seat of that career at the moment.
Samson's always been in the picture. Samson is the person that discovered David. I'm not like other parents that's always trying to demand and ask for stuff, you know. Samson does his job. He's the one that got the fight for Lemieux, and he does his work. His job is to go and get the fighters and get them paid as much as he can. That's his job. My job is to train him and to take care of all that. So he does his job 100%. I'm super satisfied. We don't have any problems. Like I say, he does what he does, and I'm thankful for that. And Luis de Cubas does what he does, and he does a great job at it. Al Heyman does what he does, and we have a great team, man. Everything's going well, and that's why you don't see Samson a lot, because he has other fighters. But I feel that here we have everything under control, so there's no need. I mean, I just talked to him yesterday. I talk to him all the time, you know, and he was a blessing in our life, you know, and he was the only one that believed in David. He's the best at what he does, in my opinion.
He found a lot of great talent in this sport. Pacquiao, Martinez, your son,
exactly,
Javier Fortuna. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I just want to give David Maldonado some credit because he did ask me if Charlo gets the Canelo fight, who you pick and why. You already answered that in depth. We got James Valdez from San Antonio, Texas to ask, are there any particular things you'd like to do before or after a big fight?
Nothing. Stay focused, train hard, you know, and like I said, you know, the discipline and the sacrifices that we make, man, if it's during fight week, man, we're just focused as much as we can. We just make sure, you know, the food is okay. To me, the food is the fuel, the good energy, you know, and just focus, man, focus on the fight.
We got the best dad ever from Baltimore. He says, who are your favorite fighters to watch in today's era?
It's crazy, man. You know, every time I turn on the fights, man, like Navarrete, you know, he's a really exciting fighter. Tank, you know, the Charlos. I mean, everybody, Shakur Stevenson, you know, Canelo, you know. I mean, all these guys, Andy Ruiz, you know, all these guys are I can't really pick a favor. Because, man, these are guys, Oscar Valdez, you know, they're exciting fighters, and I mean, it's just, there's times, you know, when people look good and they give you good fights, and those are the ones that I kind of follow more, the exciting fighters, the ones that come and give it all and leave it all in the ring.
Now, I know you said that you wouldn't take on any more fighters, but I don't know if Virgil Ortiz has officially made an announcement that he's with Manny Robles, but if Virgil and his father would have came to you, would you at least entertain that welterweight conversation?
You're not just going to hear that from me. You're going to hear it from a lot of fighters. I mean, a lot of trainers, man. I mean, they haven't asked. I don't know what to tell you, you know. It's a big decision. I don't want to get a lot of fighters. I think I have room for one more. That doesn't make sense, but
yes,
I'm pushing it.
Yes,
I'm pushing it because I like to be with them, and I like to give them that attention, their own little spot of one-on-one. I don't know how these other trainers do it. You know, they have a lot of fighters. My respects. I can't do it, man. I get frustrated. So I'd rather have 3, 4, and that's it, because at the end of the day, I mean, fighters are a little bit, they get a little bit jealous, man. They want you to be at their fights. And now if I have 2 fighters, and if I go here, they're gonna say, well,
you like him more.
Yeah, and it's normal,
Yeah.
So I don't wanna be in that position, I mean, it's funny because you wanna be with the one that has more experience, and the more experience has a tougher fight. But then at the end of the day, the less experience needs you because he's just barely starting. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, both fights for me are very important, you know, and they need the support on whatever it is. So
it's funny you say that because they say that's what happened with Virgil. Robert was somewhere, Garcia, he was somewhere, and Virgil was with the son.
Let me tell you something. I did talk to this father a long time ago.
Ortiz,
and he wanted me to train him.
What?
Yeah.
How long
Before
ago?
Actually, when he left with the Diaz brothers.
Okay.
And then he went to Robert. So in that time, I talked to the father. The father's a really good friend of mine, and we were talking, and at that time I was not very stable, and we couldn't work that out because of that, you know. And like
just
I said,
wasn't the right time.
Yeah, the right time. I was in Oregon, I remember, and we were trying to kind of do it, but he needed a place to stay, and at that time it was like I was going through some things too.
God works in. Now you have this mansion with, you got rooms on the west wing and the east wing. You got fighters all over.
Yeah, but that's funny that, you know, there was a time before he went to Robert Garcia. We were talking, and we were really close to getting to something, but then I mean, we decided not to because of the situation I was in.
So tell me about, is that your chief second? Is he just a cook? I mean, I've seen him doing pad work. I've seen him holding the target miss. And give me his name. Does he have social media? And introduce him to the world.
In my camp, man, you know, the way that I got to where I'm at now, and we haven't gone anywhere, but a little bit, you know, it's not because of me. It's because of behind what I have, all the people that are behind me. I gotta thank my wife, Daisy, she's so supportive, and she understands that I had to leave for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and she understands, and she gives me all the support of whatever I want to do. She believes and she trusts me on everything, and Daisy, it's like I said, my wife, it's a big support. Without her, I don't think I could be doing this. Then, I have my other assistant. His name is Junior Lopez. He's in Arizona right now. Then I have
so he's taking care of the home gym.
Yeah. Then Poncho Ramirez is my other guy too. And then I have Javi also. They call him Javi Flo. He's my other guy that I trust on whatever, they're like my family. And these are the guys that have been in my corner and supporting me through all these years. Once the fight comes a week before that, we get all together, and this guy's supposed to be, Pancho's supposed to be here for a month and then go back, and then the other one comes, and so we kind of rotate a little bit on the things. The other one's taking care of the gym in Arizona. The other one is opening a gym in Javi is in Seattle, Washington. Junior Lopez is in Arizona, opening a gym also. So we just rotate, but thanks to them, because if it wasn't for them, I don't know how I would do it also.
So David was telling me that he's considering buying a property in Vegas. Would you be considering moving, or is just that a property for him to have in Vegas, or are you considering a Las Vegas training camp?
To be honest with you, man, I'll move anywhere, to be honest. That's the big support I have from my wife. If I tell her, hey, Pac, we're leaving here, she has no question. She has no, she trusts in everything that I do. So, like I said, if I tell her right now, hey, we're leaving to Arizona, yeah, she starts packing, no questions, no nothing.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. No questions asked, and that's why I admire her, and that's why she's my energy to do my, at the end of the day, these are my dreams. But through my dreams, she could have a better life. I think it's not easy, and she has followed me everywhere. And when I was super broke also, and no complaints, and that's a big plus. So that gives me more to work on, because I don't want to fail her. I work even harder because she's making those big sacrifices, and to me, I can't fail.
Can't let her down.
Yeah, I can't let her down. So yeah, we bought a house in Seattle, and I can rent it, I can sell it, I can do, whatever, and if it's the right thing, that David wants to move, and I'm willing to follow him everywhere. At the end of the day, these are the dreams that I said to myself, I'm gonna help them achieve their dreams, and the dreams are not over. So I'll do anything that.
How do you like Seattle? Is it really as rainy as people say, or is that a myth?
I love Seattle, man. Like I said, I love everywhere I am. I love Arizona, I love California, Las Vegas. We live there because of the boxing. And to be honest with you, as long as I'm with my family, I don't care where I'm at. I adjust and enjoy the negatives of whatever people say. If it's working for us. But I got to tell you that I do love Seattle, Washington. It rains a lot. A lot of people say that they're depressed. I would advise to get up and go do something, because you are going to get depressed if you don't do anything. It doesn't matter where you're at. I love the rain, and I love everything, everything that is there.
Mm-hmm. I got two more for you. Ruiner 504 in New Orleans says, what are your plans for Diego Pacheco?
Diego Pacheco, he has a lot of talent. He had a lot of amateur fights. He was in the Olympic team, at the Olympic Center, representing Mexico, representing the United States. In my opinion, I think Diego Pacheco, I've been following his career since he started going professional, and we've sparred with him a lot of times, so I got attached to him. But I gotta be honest to myself, I think that his defense has to improve a little bit more. I think he's a fighter that has not a lot of explosions. I think that he's on first gear all the time. We have to work on his killer instinct a little bit more, and his distance. He's so long. He has to believe in that jab. He has to start throwing those straight punches, and then set him up and work that body a little bit more. So the first thing that we're trying to do with him is move his head a little bit, use that jab, and go to the body and angles, and that's it for now. And he has all that, you know. Rudy, his ex-trainer, they did a great job with his father and the people that were involved, all the people that were involved in his life. They did a great job with him. He has a lot of tools, but I think that he doesn't know when to use them. And to me, it's just watching him and see what he has. I don't think there's nothing else I can show him. He has a good jab. He has a good uppercut. He has a good right hand. He knows how to move his head. He has angles. I just have to remind him when and how, or it depends on the fighters. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to type little bolts in there and really learn his style and kind of ask for more. If you did good, I think you could do better. So I'm just trying to make him a little bit more aggressive and be smart. Don't walk straight in. Find your way in a little bit. Find your way out and use a little bit of angles. Use your distance. So that I just keep telling him every time, and I get mad at him because I think I have to push him and I got to make him believe on the jab and his abilities. And like I said, when to use all his tools.
Man, Rayo has a good jab. Are you impressed with Rayo's jab, Jose Venezuela?
I'm not impressed. I think he could do better. I think, you know, to be honest, if you ask Rayo, you know, like I said, I love the jab. But, you know, what people don't understand sometimes is if you have a fighter and you ask for the jab, but tell me how many times have you practiced that jab? There's so many different jabs. Tap jabs, medium jabs, stiff jabs, feint jabs, so many. So what we do is, I'm gonna ask for that jab, but guess what? We're gonna do 3, 4, 5 rounds of jab, not just jab, different levels, different speed, different jabs, and we practice that a lot. I love the body shots too. So those two, we have to do a lot of those, a lot of jabs and a lot of body shots over and over when the hand doesn't want to go anymore. So that's why I feel comfortable asking for that jab, because we know that we practice that jab, and that's why you see that jab being, now they believe so much of that jab that they just want to throw the jab. Does it make sense? The other hands,
yeah, absolutely.
The other hands just come. Yeah, the other ones just come, you know, because you set them up and you get them off balance and you just finish up with the big shot.
We got 40 Thief who says, with the talks of the Charlo being the front runner for the Canelo fight, is it time to get that plant fight done? The press conference would be entertaining, let alone the fight. Best wishes.
Well, man, you know, like I said, man, and I'm telling you guys, and if these guys are watching right now, we offer Charlo a fight.
No, he's talking about Plant.
We offer, but that's what I'm saying. We offer Charlo a fight. We offer Caleb Plant a fight. We've been wanting to fight Caleb Plant for a long time. He comes with his excuses. Is he a champ? Or he's this. Look, he's not a champ no more. Let's make this fight happen. That's if Caleb Plant is watching this, let's make this fight, man. That's a good fight for him. It's a good fight for us.
But do you think realistically?
We'll kick his ass.
No. But can it really happen? Like, you're already part of the business.
I mean,
you're already part of it. Louis is the manager.
I don't see why not.
Because he's David's manager. He's also Plant's manager. So it's two different fights.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. If Plant wants to fight, you know, Louis will make that fight. If we want it, he'll make that fight. We're in the same house. It should be an easy fight to make. But the fighters have to agree.
I think it's more realistic now that he's already had his Canelo shot.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if both of the fighters want that fight, that's a good fight. Why not make it? Win the best. And that's about it.
How do you feel about him calling out Charlo?
Everybody wants to fight Charlo right now. Like I said, Charlo is not in his best position at this point. You know, let him regroup, let him come back, and he's a dangerous fighter. Right now, I think these guys have an advantage because, like I said,
even Plant off a loss.
I would even think that. I would even think that Charlo's not 100% right now. And I want to fight Charlo now. So we wanted to fight him when he was good. Like I said, right now, like I said, he's not too.
So you feel that way? Why, off the Montiel fight?
You know, they
because he looked good in the Derevyanchenko.
You know, they post a lot of videos. You know, they post a lot of things. You know.
Oh, so you're talking about his personal life.
I go on what I see, and you know, sometimes I don't believe what they say and this and that. Actions to me speak more for what they speak. You know, so I follow people. You know, and I see what they do, and you know, now these days everybody puts everything in there. So I don't think that's a good idea. You know, so that's what I'm saying. You know, but Charlo's a dangerous fighter. Charlo's a good fighter. Caleb Plant doesn't have a chance with him if he's 100%. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So why do you think they want to fight him? Why do they want to fight him so bad? But they didn't want to fight him before. But why do they want to fight him now?
I get what you're saying, and I can see that angle, but it could also be like, I lost the O. I said, I'm not undefeated. Now I can take those risks. I got the big Canelo fight. I got that security.
Let's fight David Benavidez. You have that security. Why not fight David Benavidez?
That's what I'm saying. I think now it's more possible.
What's going to bring him more? Fighting Charlo or fighting David? We don't like each other. So you don't think that's a bigger fight? I mean, if he beats David, man, you'll gain a lot from it. If we beat Caleb Plant, what do we get out of it?
It's a common opponent with Canelo.
But Canelo had already hurt him. Canelo beat him. Canelo knocked him. He's not the same. People will start saying that. Does it make sense?
They will, but I mean, we can't say those things because that's what MMA has over us. They have 3, 4, 5, 6
But let
losses.
me tell you again, but they will not fight David because he just came out of a big loss. He got stopped. David could stop him. They don't want to put him in that position right now. They want to give him a little bit of confidence, and that's good. You know, why fight a tough fight and then fight another tough fight? Does it make sense? We're willing to take that fight. Like I said, if he's here, let's make that fight. You know, he looked good against Canelo. I thought he was going to get dropped sooner, but I was impressed. He did really good.
I thought he was going to make all 12. You expected the knockout.
I expected a knockout. I knew that he was going to get stopped. I knew he was going to, and I said it on all my interviews. He's going to get dropped. I thought he was going to get dropped like in the 5-6, but he stayed there a little bit longer. So I was impressed. He did really good. He's fucking surviving, moving around, and you know, tapping like an amateur. But it was just a matter of time. Does it make sense? That's what I think, you know. And I think if he's confident, if he wants that bigger fights, let's make that fight.
What did you think of him asking Canelo, hey, I'm pretty good in the 9th round, having that conversation? Do you think that's the wrong thing to do? And do you also think that is what caused Canelo to step on the gas? Like, oh, this guy thinks he's on my level? And he stepped on the gas and got him out.
That's exactly what you said. That happened. Because, I mean, how the hell are you going to ask somebody, hey, what do you think? Hey, you know, I mean, I'm going to try to knock you out and, you know, stay focused. And, oh, yeah, you think you're doing good? Okay. Boom. There you go. Of course, they're going to say, oh, you did good. Good luck. You know, I'm sorry, this and that after the fight. Yeah, well, you beat him already. So, hey, you know.
Well, Jose, those are all our questions, man. I want to thank you, obviously. I know you got to get to some family affairs. We appreciate your time. If you want to give out any social media.
Yeah, they can follow us at, and remember, David lost his Instagram down there. You can follow him at David Benavidez. You can follow me at José Benavidez Sr. And first of all, I just want, like I said, man, I want to thank all the fans for all the support. And we're going to continue working hard to give you guys exciting fights. And remember, we're not running from nobody, man. We're here to give you good fights. We don't care about we lose or win. I mean, we just want to give you guys good fights. I'm pretty sure we're going to win, but we're not afraid of losing that undefeated record.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
For the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows. The list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.